Next up, I have the fabulous author of a book called Fearful to Fabulous. The subtitle is Unlock Your Power, Move On, and Thrive After Midlife Divorce. So, this author's name is Fiona Eckersley. She is joining us live, and I have so many questions, but first I want to say hi, Fiona. Congratulations.
Hey, Trevor. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on here. I'm excited
Amazing.
to get out there and chat.
Yeah, tell me about this book.
Okay, well, Fearful to Fabulous. I just want to point out that fabulous, because it comes up, people ask me, fabulous doesn't mean, you have to look like a fashion model or you have to have everything in your life together and everything's perfect. What it is fabulous is the feeling inside, right? That you feel like you can go out there and do whatever you need to do to make your best life. And that's really what the fabulous refers to. So basically, the book is for people after divorce and they're struggling with the challenges of their divorce. Getting divorced, it can rob you of your confidence and your identity. And so what I was aiming for this book to do is to help, really, it was written for women, but I guess a couple of men have read it and told me it works for them too. So really, it's to help them find that confidence, think about what they want in this new chapter of their life. And have the basic tools to set out on a path to go there and get it. There's so many negative emotions that go along after divorce. I've spoken to many women, and a lot of them are just trapped in that loop of anger and victimhood. As many as 8 or 10 years later, women that I've spoken to, and you can't move on with your life. You can't live your best life when you're in that position. So it's about learning to release and reframe those emotions and just looking at, the positives in life in order to move on. People say the biggest thing, what happens when you get divorced is people will say to you, there's another one. Just go out with somebody else. There's more men out there. He didn't deserve you anyway, right? And that is A, not helpful, and B, a huge mistake. Because when you just jump into that next relationship without doing any work on yourself, you're basically going to end up in a spot where you're back in the same old relationship that wasn't working out in the first place. So this book is to help you look at who you are and who you truly are, not the ideas that have been put into you, and what you can really do with your life going forward.
I love that. So walk me through, specifically, you've included midlife divorce as part of the subtitle here. Walk me through what you see as the difference between, you had a first marriage, you were young, you made a wrong decision, you moved on, you've got your whole life ahead of you, as people are saying to people, and you have been with this person for however long. You're in the middle of your life, you may have grown children. What is the difference there in terms of how you approach it and how it feels?
Okay, I mean, divorce at any age is devastating, I'm sure. So I'm not poo-pooing that in any way. But I think, I know for myself, I was with my ex-husband for 22 years. Many of the women I work with have been with their husbands for 30 or more years. What happens is you get to a place where you think you know what your future is going to be. It's all mapped out, right? When you're 20 or 25 or 30, there's still so many possibilities out there. But when you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you think you know where you're going. And that sense of identity of who you are, I'm so-and-so's wife, I'm so-and-so's mother, I do this for a living, this is who I am. Suddenly, it's almost like it gets ripped away from you. And that future that you thought that you saw, that was right out there, that retirement, that house that you thought you were saving for, it's gone. And that's very hard to get over, because you really focus then on what should have been or what you thought was supposed to be. And that makes it harder to look at, well, okay, that's not going to happen. So what's going to happen now? And I think that's specifically what I'm addressing with this book, is like how to find that sense of identity again.
Finding the sense of identity again. I love it. That is, I think, one of the amazing things about the title that you chose, Fearful to Fabulous. That fear that you just kind of discussed, like that is losing, it's the fear of losing that sense of identity,
Right.
and it actually happening to people. Tell me about some people that have come through and have gone from fearful to fabulous over the past year.
Um, I've worked with some pretty amazing women, I have to say. I mean, there was even somebody I didn't even work with. Kelly reached out to me. She just read the book. Recently, she reached out to me and she was telling me that, you know, what happens with a lot of this fear, what it does is it holds you in a almost like limbo. Like you don't trust your own judgment. You're not able to make any decisions. It's imagine sitting on your couch and you know you have all these things to do and it's like they're spinning around in front of you and you can't pin down what I'm going to do today and you end up doing nothing, right? Well, Kelly was definitely in that position, and she said that, you know, it was coming up on the second year that she hadn't had her child for the holidays, and she just sat in her house and cried the whole first year, and she didn't know what to do, but she read the book. And she said that, you know, it made her realize that this is not the place that she needed to be. And she said within 3 weeks of reading the book, she looked at what could she do whilst her kid was away for herself, rather than saying, hey, this is what it's supposed to be, this is what my life was supposed to be like. She's like, well, what is it going to be like? What is it that brings me joy in my life? What did I used to do before? And she realized that running was one of those big things for her, and she started running again. She said she lost some weight. She realized to reach out to old friends that she used to run with. So now she's, you know, she even signed up for like I think it was a 10K or something to move on. And she said from there she had the ability to then start cutting out negative people from her life. There's so many, that's one of the things, it's like so many toxic people that are around you that are keeping you in this space. So that was just from reading the book. Like I didn't even work with her, but but people that I've worked with, I mean, let me think of a good example. One amazing woman, this is one of my favorites because, you know, I love it. Like Susanna was saying, when they go on and they share what you teach them with other people, that's like the biggest compliment. And this is why we do what we do, frankly. Like we just want to share everything with everybody and get it out to the biggest audience. So one lady, Christine, she was, you know, this amazing business leader. She was an engineer and she was high up in a company. And she found that after everything she'd been through, she just wasn't having the confidence to lead her team. Like literally she would ask them to do something and they'd say, nah, I don't really want to do that.
Oh,
And they didn't do it. And so she ended up doing it. And consequently, she was so anxious and stressed out and just really fearful that like her job was not going the way it needed to go. But as so many of the women that I work with, and this is how I was too, on the outside, you look like you got it all together, right? Everybody thinks you're wonderful. Like she was being offered a promotion and she was freaking out because she didn't know how she was going to do it, because she knew deep down that she didn't have the ability to do it. Or she thought, sorry, I'll reframe that. She thought she didn't have the ability to do it. We worked together. We did a lot of reframing of emotions, a lot of releasing of negative ideas, looking at her past life and you know, really figuring out who she truly was, not this story she thought she was. Bottom line is she worked with her team. She got them in line. She decided to go for the promotion and she got it. But the most exciting thing to me is she's still in touch with me. She talks to me all the time. She went to talk to a women's conference, women who'd been abused. And she said, I stood up there and I gave the speech and I used so many ideas that we'd worked on together, you know, and that to me is like not only just changing her life, but changing other women's lives that I don't even have any touchstone with. It is like the biggest success to me.
I always like to say, like, the work that you all are doing with your books themselves, with all of the versions of your books, and then with the clients that you're working with, it's like the giant ripple effect in a sea. We don't even know what the size of it is. Like, we don't know how many people this could actually touch and help. But the fact that you wrote this book is you dropping that stone in the ocean. And
Right.
it's rippling and rippling and rippling and rippling. So I'm so proud that we are able to launch the audio version of this book. I'm going to go ahead and play a sample now, and then I got another question for you.
Then the big day arrived. Not the other big day where you'd been surrounded by friends and family. Not the other big day that you'd celebrated a lifetime ago. This day, you're going in there by yourself. This day was the day you signed the papers, and the years of togetherness, of being a family, are suddenly all wiped out, like it didn't really matter to him in the first place. You signed those papers. Now what?
So tell me, Fiona, now what? What happens after that?
For me going forward or for people?
The actual answer is call Fiona.
Oh, call Fiona. Yes, sorry. Sorry, I didn't get it. Sorry about that. Yeah, the answer is, if you're in this place, or even if you know somebody who's in this place, because basically everybody I speak to seems to know somebody who's in this place, sadly. Give me a call. Let's work. I love, I work with women one-on-one. I work with women all over the country. English speaking countries also. So, give me a call. It's, I would even tell you, it's callfabfiona.as.me. It's callfabfiona.as.me. And you can get on my calendar and you can talk to me for free for 45 minutes and we'll figure out what it is you're going through, what's your biggest challenge, and see if we can find a path to move you forward.
There you go. Thank you so much, Fiona. Are you writing a second book? I heard that might be in the works.
I am planning on writing a second book. I've got a couple of theories that, a couple of stories I want to write, and I can't decide which one right now. I have to make a decision in the next couple of weeks, but there will be something coming.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. There will be something coming from Fiona Eckersley, author of Fearful to Fabulous, Unlock Your Power, Move On, and Thrive After Midlife Divorce. You've seen her, you've heard her talk, you've heard her stories. Don't you believe that she has unlocked her power, moved on, and thrived after midlife divorce? She can help you do it too. If you would like the audiobook, please request it below. For the first 20 people, it's free, so why not do it? Help the lady out in your life who's going through something, all right?